Okay, so guys, I'm Amy, and we've got Georgia with us here tonight. She'll be manning the chat and helping to answer any questions. If you do have questions, feel free to speak up or just write into the chat, entirely up to you. Our quick Zoom tonight is just covering what the TM6 is, what it looks like, where you can find some of the features and functions, accessing Cookiedoo on your machine, things like that. So if you guys can all just check that you're in gallery view, you should be able to see both myself and Amy Dinsdale's iPhone, which is the close-up of the TM6. I have pinned the two of those, so they should pop up for you, but you do need to be in gallery, especially if you're on a mobile phone or a tablet. So I'll just pull the phone a little bit closer to the machine for you. Hopefully, is that nice and clear? Or have we got a bit of glare?
There's just a little bit of glare just on the temperature button there. No, hang on.
Trying to aim it at the right
That's a
place.
bit better. Yeah, just leave it right there. Yep, right there.
Better?
It's right around it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So guys, for those of you, how do you find gallery? Up in the top right-hand corner, if you're on a computer, there should be a button that says view. You may not be able to see it until you hover in that area. Just click on that and select gallery. Plus is done.
Okay.
No worries, Anne. Okay, so on the screen, you guys may or may not be familiar. We have the three circles. The one on the far left is our time. The middle is temperature, and the one on the far right is speed. Each of these can be clicked on. It's entirely touch screen, so it's very user-friendly.
Sorry,
all three.
Sorry, Amy.
Pardon?
For a sec. Samantha's asking what about the phone, and I don't have my phone up at the moment. Do you know how to use gallery view on the phone? Or what can you see, Samantha? Can you see Amy or can you see the TM6?
I'm going to unpin my face one.
That's it. Yeah.
Hopefully that might help.
The other one.
Let us know how that is.
Is that better, Samantha? Okay, so Samantha can see Amy. So maybe if you unpin yourself, Amy.
Okay. Yeah, so I've unpinned myself and it's just the computer.
Okay.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, you can just use the chat. I'll man the chat, Samantha, so not a problem.
Yeah. Okay. So if you can see the machine, Samantha, if you can see the machine, we'll keep moving. No, still not. I'm just trying to think.
Let me just log in.
Yeah. I'm having a look at my phone as well, and I am finding that it's going to whatever is, hang on. Try that one. How about now? Because I just had it pinned, but now I've swapped it over to Spotlight.
Yep, all good. All right, perfect.
That's all good? All right. That's a learning point for us, Georgia.
Got it.
Yep. So we need to Spotlight, not pin. All right. Oops. Okay. So on the TM6 screen, the far left, I hope this is the right way for everyone, or is it backwards?
Correct. No, it's correct.
Beautiful. Far left is our time. The center is temperature, and the far right, is our speed. you can click to select any of these, and the dial on the right-hand side works all three. So the TM6 goes up to, I'm just getting a little bit of feedback. That's right. The TM6 will go up to 120 degrees under normal circumstances, and then to what we call Varoma, which is effectively our steaming function. You cannot apply time unless you have applied you can't apply heat unless you've applied time, which is one of the many safety functions of the TM6. And this is the basics of the machine. So this is what you would use if you were manually cooking. So the blade over there tells you that the machine is going in the forward chopping, and if you click the little blade and it goes to the arrow, that's when it's set into reverse. So you can use it as like a stirring function as well. Okay, so if we then go from right to left, we bring up all of our modes. So we've got our scales, we've got a new Thermomix sensor, which has just come out. Got the chop function, dough function, turbo, pre-cleaning, which I have to say I use all the time. The blending, egg boiler, kettle, and warm up. Scrolling down, we have thicken, rice cooker, fermentation, slow cook, sous vide, peeler, grating, and slicing. Now, the grating, slicing, and peeler are all to do with accessories, as is the sensor. But all of those functions have been put on here. Sorry, those modes, sorry. And they have all been downloaded onto the machine after it's released. So as new functions and modes are, as they're released, they are downloaded directly to your machine remotely. So you don't have to send it in to get new functionality put into it. It just happens as updates. So it's constantly getting smarter, and all the time it's getting better. Further to that, if we go back to our home screen and we go from left to right, we actually bring up Cookie-Doo on the machine. So you can do a search directly here to find a recipe that you're interested in. So when you do a delivery, most often the thing that we cook is the vegetable stock paste, which is a staple for many of our recipes. You'll find that in your basic cookbook as well. Sorry, everything's just being a little laggy because I've got lots of things connected to the internet tonight. I am also typing upside down, so forgive me if I've got bad spelling. So you can see that there's lots of different recipes that pop up when you just type in a word like vegetable, but one of these many recipes would be the vegetable stock paste. So if I put more into the search, I would refine it down. Yeah. And any one of these recipes, sorry, Georgia.
I was just going to say it is a little bit slow because I can see you've got a couple of devices connected now, and it's a time when it's home, so it tends to get a little bit slower.
Yeah. But any one of these recipes you can run directly on the machine. So it tells you when to preheat. You click next and it'll tell you line a tray, and then you start weighing things in. So this machine actually has 1 gram interval scales as well. So it is quite precise. So you can pull the scales up at any time within a recipe or from that modes screen as well. And you can see just how sensitive it is, because all I'm doing is just lightly touching the top of the machine to get that change. All right, so very, very sensitive. And we do, of course, have our tear button to take it back to 0. So even if you just want to use the scale function, you're more than capable of doing that. As Georgia mentioned before, we do have a couple of new functions to this machine that the previous ones have not. Sorry, I'm putting things on and off the top. So you may, if you've seen the TM6 in person, you may have seen this piece. Try and hold it in the right place. This one is our splash cover, sorry. And it's designed to go on top of the machine when you're using the high heat functions. So as we said, high heat will actually go beyond the 120 temperature. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Georgia, but it's 160.
160, correct, yeah. And that's only
160.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's only within our cookie dough recipes, and that's again one of those safety functions, just to make sure that you can't burn the bottom out of your bowl, really. So you can use those. There are recipes for vegetables and for meats that you can use the high heat for to get the most flavor out of your meals. I use it a lot for doing, I think it's called a mirepoix, so your celery, onions and carrots to really get a good, really good base to sauces. And we can also do sugar modes with this because it goes so much hotter. So yes, the honeycomb is one of the favorites. I think I'll have to make some of that and pop it on socials, even though I can't eat it, because everybody loves honeycomb.
Sure, the kids will love it.
Yes, I'm sure they would. So that's another one. Now, while it's zoomed in like this, I can't show you, but we've got the Varoma that sits on the top as well. So there is a lot that comes with this machine, as well as your basic cookbook. So there is a lot of pieces, but they all work in harmony together, and you don't need anything more than the machine and what it comes with. Any accessories are entirely optional. So some of the other, sorry, Georgia.
It comes with a consultant as well.
Yes.
Through
Yes.
volume. So you'll never be stuck with.
No, and most of us, if not all of us, are very active on socials as well. So hopefully we can help to inspire you even when we're not in direct communication with you. So it is very much a social game with Thermomix. So a couple of the other modes that you might be interested in is things like our fermentation mode. Now that's really great for things like yogurt, or if you like to make fermented foods, you can do a lot of that. Again, you can just locate the mode, or you can go through a recipe and it will open up this mode as required. So I know I make yogurt in the mixing jug at least once a week. I'm making 2 liters of yogurt. There's many different ways of doing it. I personally don't use the fermentation method for that, but that's because I'm doing it inside the jug, not in the Varoma. But it does do effectively the same process.
Okay. I make my yogurt using the fermentation mode.
Yeah.
I set it up for 8 hours on 45 degrees, and the pot sets it in the jug. So there's so many ways that you can, utilize one recipe, and one recipe isn't, all it can do. Like, it can work for you and it can work for me and it can work for everyone else. So, you can do either. Like, it's just a guide.
The Varoma, let me grab one.
Okay, I might actually just say this out aloud. So, and you asked what is the Varoma? So I believe Amy's going to get that to show you now, but the Varoma is basically a deep basket that sits on top of the Thermomix bowl, and you can do multi-level cooking. So you can make like a soup in your bowl, steam your veggies in the Varoma, steam some protein. So it looks like Amy's had her.
This one's just there.
Yeah, so it just elevates your cooking and basically helps you cook a multi-layered meal in one effort, basically. So it literally sits on the top. As you can see, I'm not sure if you can see the whole screen, but there's a picture on the right-hand side of Amy's screen where you can see the Varoma right up the top. Oh, there you go. That's an even better shot there.
There
So
you go.
basically it allows you to steam, and you can steam without anything in the bowl apart from water as well. So you don't need to be making a soup or anything like that. You can just pop some water in there, steam some veggies, steam some, salmon or some chicken fillets in there.
Yeah. So the pasta that I made tonight, the chunky bolognese, because I did a larger batch of it, because there's some beautiful scaling opportunities in our cookie dough now. I actually scaled it up to feed 8 instead of 6. So it was a kilo of mince instead of 500 grams. When you do 500 grams, it cooks it in here in the liquids. But in the scaled up version, you actually cook your mince in the Varoma and then add it into the sauce at the end. Because if you try to cook it in the bowl, it would go over the capacity. Because these have a 2.2 litre capacity in the jug, 3.3 in the Varoma. So you can cook a lot of food in here. It is quite deceptive in terms of its size. But I feed a family of 4. Often when my mum and dad come for dinner, I'm feeding a family of 6, and we usually have leftovers. So, yeah. But you can scale down as well. So if you're only a household of 2 or 4 and you want to bring things down so you don't have a lot of leftovers, you can do that as well.
Yeah, or you can add them in your freezer and have an easy dinner next week. That's what we do.
Absolutely.
Cook once and eat twice.
Yes. Cookie dough has gotten really good in that it has, as I said, the scaling functionality now. It's also introduced sensor into some of our recipes so that you can use the sensor to pop into meats, into breads, into cakes, and it's going to help you ensure that it is cooked fully, which is fantastic for somebody like me who's got a really dodgy oven. If ever you watch any of my videos on Facebook and YouTube, you'll probably see my oven seal is currently held up with some string. So it's a very unreliable temperature. So the sensor for me has been a godsend for anything that I'm baking in the oven. Means I can make sure that things are cooked through and not going to be raw or still wobbly cake mix in the middle. So, but that all will talk to your machine via Bluetooth. So it's a really very user-friendly. The other really great one that Cookie Dough offers is that you can import your own recipes, either from the recipe community, which is run by Thermomix, but it is the recipes of consultants. Yeah, I'll get to that one in a second. The recipe community is recipes from consultants and from just enthusiastic cooks. So we don't guarantee the results of them like we do with Cookie Dough. All the Cookie Dough recipes are triple tested. The recipe community ones are not, but you will get some ratings on there as to whether they've been very popular or not. You can import those directly, or if you have a family favorite recipe, you can also import those or input them so that you can run them in your machine really simply, and it'll hold it into Cookie Dough for you. Yes, so we do have a glider board. This actually isn't it. This is just that one that I had. It was easier to move this around tonight. My glider board is actually under my machine that I use for cooking every day. Georgia, do you happen to have a glider board handy?
Give me a sec. I'll go
grab spotlight you.
Don't spotlight me because I'm actually in the dining room. So the glider's just over. I'll go bring it. One sec. Hang on 1 sec.
Yep. So the glider board does come in 3 colors. It can come in a black, a white, or a beechwood, which is kind of like my bench here. It's very similar to that sort of color. They are really great because they actually have holes for your feet to sit in, and that helps stabilize the machine. And it helps also to protect your scales because the scales are inbuilt to the feet of your machine. So I'll just see.
I'm back if you want to spotlight me, Amy.
You're back? All right, I'll just spotlight Georgia so she can show you the glider board.
So can you see that okay?
So you can see those 3 holes. That's where, so there's 1 foot at the front and 2 feet at the back.
That's the front of the machine. That's where the 1 foot sits. And the two sit at the back. So basically the feet of the Thermomix are the scale. So that's why we want to protect the scales. We don't want to drag the machine up and down. And if you have a look at the back of it, this is what's on there. So these keep the board sturdy, these black ones. These are the gliders. So to use your glider, all you need to do is just pop your Thermomix on, making sure that the feet are low. And then you lift back onto the glider and you can push and pull and twist and turn. So it's a very good tool to have, especially if you need to tuck your Thermomix away into a corner or underneath a cupboard. And they do come in 3 colors. So this is the white. They come in a black and also a timber looking color. I'm not sure what the name of it is though.
Beechwood.
Beechwood, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, so the glider board is really fantastic. I do recommend that you get one. If you happen to go through the NDIS process to get a machine, the glider board is the standard gift with purchase. But at the moment,
sorry, Amy, I've just
at the moment, sorry, Georgia.
Pull that off me and put it back on you.
Oh, yes, sorry. I'll pop onto this one. There you go. Yeah, if you're going through the NDIS process, the glider board is the standard gift with purchase. In the event that there's something like our bowl and blade offer on, you can swap it out for that on request, but you do incur those costs. Yeah. Other than that, is everybody aware of all of the the offers that are currently running? Because we have a TM31 trade-in running at the moment. It includes a second bowl blade and lid set. We have the TM6 purchases with an optional $49 bowl blade and lid set as well. We're running 36 months interest-free finance with Zip Money. And there are obviously also our 3 monthly installments with Zip or Afterpay or Hum or an outright payment or NDIS, or you can join us and earn. There are lots of different ways to pay for a machine. And obviously by hosting, you have access to all those host rewards, including the sensor at the moment. It's a limited time host reward. I'm trying to think if there's anything else specifically. And the Earn 4 is on at the moment if you're interested in becoming a consultant and joining us and having good fun. Yeah, Earn 4 is on at the moment. I think that's about it, isn't it, Georgia?
That's pretty much it. I was just going to type away.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Does anyone have any questions, or is there anything that you would like to see? Yeah. So, sorry. Yeah.
The cutter.
The cutter.
Yeah.
All right. The cutter is slowly starting to be available. So it isn't available to purchase as yet. You can register. So it's Angel, isn't it? Sorry, because it keeps coming on my screen. So Angel, you got a Thermomix, or are you looking at purchasing?
No, I would like to buy one. Yeah. And one of my questions is also, what's the best way to do it? Do you have an in-home demo and then?
Well, it's
entirely up to you.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you can stay on after the chat. We can grab some details and get our team leaders to do a call.
Great.
Organize something. The cutter, like I said, it's not available to purchase as yet. There's a high demand on them. They're slowly starting to get rolled out again into the country. People that have registered their interest are slowly starting to get their emails saying that they're available to get one. So the best thing to do is, obviously, if you want to purchase your Thermomix, you can go and do that. Take advantage of the $49 bowl deal.
Yeah.
And register your interest for a cutter. As soon as they're available, you can then order your cutter. But unfortunately, they're not available now to purchase with your Thermomix.
Okay.
Yeah, the way they're doing the cutter in an effort to be fair to everybody, because they're coming in batches. If you've got your the Notify Me on, the next batch of people, they will get notified that there's enough in stock for them to order. So the higher up the list you are on when you said notify me, the sooner you're going to get one.
Okay.
Great. It seems like a really difficult way of doing it, but they're trying to be as fair as possible.
Oh, no, that makes sense.
Rather than them coming in and everyone going, yep, jump. And the people who've been waiting the longest missing out.
Yeah. Fair enough. Awesome.
Has anyone else got any questions? You're welcome to type away if you can't take your speaker off. Might just wait a second in case anyone's typing.
And I hope I've answered everybody's questions or given the information they were hoping to get tonight. If there's something that we haven't covered, please let us know.
So, Samantha, you just got yours last week and it's bloody brilliant. What have you been making? Tell me all about it. Can everyone see the chat down the bottom, or do you want me to repeat what's been said? Oh, you did the slow cooked ribs. Yum.
Oh, yeah.
Yum.
You know you're going to get us all drooling soon.
Yeah, Pam, I know you cook lots in yours. Have you been cooking anything interesting lately? I was at Pam's house on Thursday night.
I love it.
No, just pasty slice. I've just been grating all the veggies and that for pasty slice.
Yep.
I did have a baking day yesterday doing lasagnas. So I
Yum.
did all the meat sauce in the Thermomix. I must say I have learnt some stuff tonight. So that's
wow.
really good. Yeah. I don't play with the features much. I'm not as yet anyway, but I'll
Yeah.
get there.
You definitely will.
Yeah. And of course, we keep having Amy come back because we enjoy her company.
It's always a good time. She puts up with a lot from me.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, Angela, what are you looking forward to cooking when you get your Thermomix?
Oh gosh, that's such a good question. I think I'd love to try to do like the yogurt. I've always been fascinated by doing like homemade yogurt, and I've never ever been game enough to kind of try it because
Yeah.
8 hours, forget it. But
Yeah.
if it's on something like this, which is obviously just doing
Yeah.
so much of it, is just pre-programmed and it's completely safe, and
Absolutely.
you can't stuff it up really. And
that's-
so many
It's
of my
so
friends
safe,
have got them.
Angela.
Yeah.
I do mine overnight. I
Yeah.
put it on before I go to bed, and my husband pushes the button in the morning before he leaves for work. And then I
Done.
just get up and put it in the fridge.
Yep.
So easy.
So I think, because we all love yogurt here, it's just going to be one of those things that everyone's going to want it different flavoured. That's the only thing to kind of worry about. But
What I recommend.
So the good
Oh, sorry, you go, Amy.
I was going to say, I've had the same issue where my kids are like, sometimes they want plain, sometimes they want flavors, sometimes they want oats. I just make plain yogurt, and then I'll add, I used to make coulis and add it to it. I've gotten a little bit lazier than that these days, and I actually just use some jam.
yeah,
So when I do their individual pots for school, I'll put a teaspoon of jam in it, and they can just stir it through.
yeah,
So they
perfect.
get apricot some weeks, raspberry some weeks, strawberry other weeks, blueberry. I think we've even had like cherry conserve, and it's been
Yum.
really nice.
Yeah.
But it means you can make that big batch to save yourself money. And it also means that if you're making it plain, you can use it in breads and cakes too,
Yeah.
because there's quite a few of those on Cookie Doo that use the yogurt.
Sometimes I just get a little bit stale, you just get a bit like lacking a little bit of motivation or, new ideas. So it'd be nice to be able just to sit and play with the Cookie Doo and see, what are we going to do
Yeah, and
tonight?
form
I've
yourself
got-
some collections.
Yep.
Yeah.
The other thing that's great with Cookie Doo, because we haven't really touched on that today, say you've got a fridge full of things and you don't know what to make, or you
Yep.
need to say, type in broccoli. You've got a head of broccoli and you don't know what to do with it. Type in broccoli and it'll bring up all the recipes with broccoli in there. You can also filter your Cookie Doo with your time. So if you've only got 15 minutes or half an hour or an hour to prepare dinner, you can filter that time and it will tell you
Wow,
you can make with your broccoli in what time.
fantastic.
But yeah, there's a lot of things that you can do. You won't be stale and making the same things on repeat over and over. I
Yeah,
promise.
awesome.
Yeah.
I think Cookie Doo's got something
And-
like 60,000 recipes in it or something. is that
90,000
right?
worldwide. Some of them
Yeah.
are duplicates, though. They're just written in different languages from the basic cookbook and some of the collections, but there's still 90,000 recipes. So I actually just did a post
Yeah.
today on these salmon patties because I haven't made those before. And it's exactly what I spoke about. I said, look, I've been using the Thermomix since 2016 and I'm still finding new things to cook. Had I have been doing these, the traditional way, it would have been the same thing, spag bowl, roast chicken, Taco Tuesday, and I never ever would have even tried yogurt. So we go through yogurt, being Greek. So we don't, we never buy yogurt. Like I bought a starter that cost me about $2, quite a few years ago. And I just keep keeping my starter now. So it's a minimal cost. Like I think I spent about $5 to make 2.2 litres.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
The savings are definitely there as well.
Yeah. So, Anne, you asked about Cookie Do and how it works. So it's a subscription so that if the recipes can run on your machine. You do get 6 months subscription included with your purchase. And sorry, my
69.
my number 6 isn't working. So yes, it's $69 a year for the subscription. But as we were just saying, there's over 90,000 recipes on there currently. And as they bring out new books and new collections, they are all going on to Cookie Do. So our diabetes book has just come out in the last month. A few of the recipes, I think about 11 or 17 of them are currently on Cookie Do, and it's going to just have small releases of those throughout the year. By Christmas, the entire book will be on there. So if that's what's happening here, and most of the books sit at around that sort of 150 to 200 recipes, most books also sit between the $30 and $50 mark if you wanted to buy them outright. So you can see that the $69 a year does turn out to be really great value for the quantity of recipes you have access to.
Yeah,
and again, they will run on your machine.
So Cookie Do has got other features as well. So you can do your weekly meal plan on there. You can also send your shopping list to a shopping cart, which then connects with Woolies online, and you can work out your budget as well. So there's a lot more than just recipes on there. You can, like I said, send it to Woolies, do a click and collect, or place your order, and you know exactly what you're spending for the week for your meal plan. So a lot more benefits, and it's definitely much cheaper than Netflix.
It also gives you access to that scaling and to the high heat functions. So just keep in mind that high heat particularly is restricted to Cookie Do recipes as a safety precaution. So you'll only be able to access that if you're keeping your subscription up to date.
Cool. We've got any other questions?
How do I sign up?
How do you sign up? Have a chat with us at the end.
I will. Yeah.
When everybody goes, we'll sort you out. All right.
Anyone else?
No other questions?
Make sure no one's typing.
Just got hit in the wallet.
You're
Oh,
very
good. And I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope I wasn't too stuttery and
good. Yeah, good.
Right, I might just stop this
recording.
If I can figure out here. Yep, stop recording. There